Well, the weather said it was going to be sunny today. I guess near the coast it had to be foggy. Actually, coming this way, even in the Willamette Valley, pretty much everywhere there was quite a bit of fog, patchy fog.
We usually start most days with that maritime layer. Turns awesome.
Yeah, one time I stayed at the beach till sunset. I think I was going to get a pretty sunset picture, but an hour before sunset it got all foggy. I couldn't see nothing. I was disappointed by that. Oh well. Surprised there aren't more flowers along here though. It is spring, late spring. Yeah.
Does Salem have any kind of like a rail line?
So it has two freight lines. The Union Pacific goes right through it. Amtrak uses that. So the Amtrak Coast Starlight that goes all the way from like Seattle, Washington to Los Angeles, that runs once a day every direction. And they have a shorter one that goes from like Seattle to Eugene called the Cascades. That runs like I think 10 times a day or less. And then the freight trains, they're off and on, but you know, it's a few trains a day. And then there's also the Portland and Western Railroad that has maybe one train each direction. Sometimes it's pretty long, like 50 cars, but there's not really any other passenger service. There's no like trolleys or anything like that.
So Amtrak at Eugene then takes off at Thomas Falls, right?
Yeah.
Down the I-5 corridor?
Yeah, the railroad along the I-5 corridor, that's the CORP, Central Oregon Pacific Railroad. It's rated for only like 25 miles per hour and stuff. It's faster. Like if you go by car from Eugene to Weed, it's only about half an hour longer if you go through Klamath Falls, because I-5 is not really straight. It goes kind of southeast too. So, but yeah, the tracks are better. It follows the Union Pacific Railroad up to Klamath Falls, just because the tracks are much better.
Right, it just bypasses the whole Road Valley, which is where I want to go.
Yeah, it would be cool if they had passenger service through there, but
Yeah.
oh well. People these days, they get excited about high-speed rail. They don't realize you'd probably serve a lot more people with low-speed rail.
Yeah.
Like if I had to spend $1 billion on rail, I can tell you I could get a much better return on investment by spending on light rail than high-speed rail. But light rail isn't as glamorous as high-speed rail, so yeah. Honestly, I think people these days want to spend money for the bragging rights instead of actually being practical. Because like if you look at Amtrak from Portland going east towards Chicago, that's the Empire Builder. It only runs once a day. Sometimes it's several hours late because there's a lot of freight trains, and long story short, it's single track main line, so trains have to wait for each other. So honestly, if you want to spend money on rail, I say make it do 2-track main line. That would make both passenger trains and freight trains go faster, more reliable. But it's not as glamorous to make a freight railroad double track than it is to talk about high-speed rail.
And it was 8 hours late in Minneapolis
Yeah.
on the way back.
Because one thing I would like to do is ride it out of Portland, up the gorge and back during the daytime in the winter when there's like snow and ice. Like when it's so bad that I-84 is closed, something like that. But the thing is, they go up there in the late afternoon in the winter it's nighttime,
Right.
and they come back the next day. So you can't really do a day trip. You have to go way up there, spend the night, and turn around.
Back, yeah.
Even if they're on time, it'd be tricky. And with their on-time record, that's quite a gamble.
Yeah.
But so like I said, if they had double tracks so they could run 2 or 3 times a day, so you could catch a train up there in the morning and come back in the afternoon, I'd probably ride that once just for fun. But nobody cares what I think, so.
Yeah, I have people I want to see in Portland, but I don't want to drive it.
Right.
It's great if we have a train from here to go.
Yeah, from here to Portland, you know, it'd be like 4.5 hour drive. That's a pretty long drive. And that's assuming you don't go through like Eugene during rush hour or anything. Ooh, another deadly tree branch. Okay, I'm gonna